Hey everyone, Hurricane Liz here, and today we've got something brand spanking new. What we are going to do today is explore the top selling Christmas books of 2019, and that will hopefully give you guys some ideas as to what to do in 2020. Now remember, a lot of these are not just going to be Christmas themes, but they're going to be themes that sell all year round, and you will see an inflated amount of sales during Christmas in particular because, hey, sales are usually as much as 5x during Christmas, and even higher. I've had sales as much as 10x during Christmas. So the important thing about today is to pay attention, get a lot of ideas, take a lot of notes, and get ready to start creating because it's gonna start to rain up in here. And I hope every single one of you guys is prepared to capitalize on possibly the best Q4 ever. So without further ado, I'm super fired up. Pretty sure my cat's around here somewhere fired up. Let's do this. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at two searches today. And as usual, I'm gonna use one of my favorite tools, which is Helium 10. And I will get that link for you guys down below if you wanna actually do this on your own. It's super awesome. And obviously I do get a commission, but I think it's worth every single cent. So let me show you guys the two searches that we're gonna focus on. And hopefully we'll be able to cover both in this video. If not, I will do a second video just to show you guys how awesome this actual feature is. Now, remember, I like to call this my time machine. So it gives me the ability to almost travel back in time and look at what actual books sold well during a previous time period. So we're gonna use a couple very important filters. So pay close attention because these are the filters you'll need to use on your own. So here we are, we're in a tool called Black Box, which I always rant and rave about. This is probably about the 100th video for Black Box that I've actually done, showing you how I use my time machine. As I've said in the past, it's been a Lamborghini, it's been a DeLorean, whatever it is. It's a hot car that we're driving back in time. And so here we're gonna take a look at what happened Christmas 2019. So I am in Black Box and all I've done is change the category to books. So that's obviously the first and most important thing. Now the second thing that you'll wanna toy with when you're on your own is this actual feature right here called Best Sales Period. Now, for the purposes of this actual video, right now I'm gonna focus on November, and that's probably how I'll break it up into two videos. Today we're gonna focus on November. Next time we will focus on December. Obviously there's a lot of different things going on in both those months. We've got Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we just finished off Halloween. So there's gonna be a ton of different book ideas here that we're gonna see. And again, use these to create your own books in whatever niche it is that you do. Like for example, just because I point out a coloring book that's a Thanksgiving coloring book doesn't necessarily mean go out and create a Thanksgiving coloring book that's extremely general. Use some of the actual things that are featured in that actual coloring book, whether it be a turkey that sings, a turkey that dances, a turkey that's downright infuriated. Use that theme and put it into whatever it is that you sell best, which could be journals, it could be mileage books, it could be diabetic journals, it could be books all about you, it could be diaries. Whatever in the heck it is that you sell, try and use some of the actual characteristics of that top selling book. Don't just jump into a very general category like a Thanksgiving coloring book and start going crazy unless you have the actual skills to do that. And by skills, I mean you're using PPC, you're throwing extra money at it, and you're doing promotions. Just by tossing the book up there doesn't necessarily mean it's going to sell. So again, niche it down to whatever you specialize in and you automatically sell without having to do any of that stuff, or spend some money on it, make it rain on it a little bit. So all right, let's go ahead and take a look at November here. Okay, so the last thing that I forgot to mention here is I'm going to look today in the actual journal niche. Now I will say this much. If you guys want to put something below in the comments of a particular niche you want done, like maybe we'll have a whole week of this just so you could see a ton of different ideas on every single day. So in this particular search, I'm gonna go with journal because journal are pretty much well sold throughout the entire year. But if there's a particular keyword you want, post it in the comments below. I will basically do a whole week of that if I have to get you guys prepared for Christmas. So whatever it is that you want, here we go, hit search and boom, we're off to the races. So take a look at these that are popping up. We got Wreck This Journal, which is pretty much an evergreen thing. And now we see a unicorn journal, which is probably going to be selling well all year round. And in a minute, we'll probably start to see some Christmas ones, but you can clearly see that some of these here are making about $3,000 a month, which is probably a lot for the actual journal niche. Like I've got a couple journals and they don't make anything more than a couple sales a day, 4 to 5 tops. So again, I'm by no means an artist. Here's a journal for self-exploration. Here's an actual My Smile Diary, an illustrated journal with prompts. So obviously this is like a prompt to get you to input some information. Here's the Art for Joy's Sake journal, watercolor discovery, and releasing your creative spirit. So that's kind of an interesting one. That sold almost $1,000 last Christmas time. One day at a time. Here's a guided journal for mindfulness. Let's see what else we can see. An inspired journal, a journal for thinking. Here's a journal with some llamas. Here's an activity journal. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about that. That one is $400. But again, going back to the fill-in and things of that nature, that's probably what it does. Here's a Journal Junkies workshop. So visual ammunition for the art addict. Sounds something very similar. I actually think I read something about having a journal of this nature. Here's a gratitude journal. You can see the design on it. The Breathe Mindfulness journal. So here we go. Here is our first sighting of an actual Christmas journal that made about $343 last year. It is the Merry and Bright Christmas Holiday Planner and Journal Organizer, Planning a Perfect Christmas. So here is somewhat of a pretty interesting one that I want to talk about a little bit, because anybody can really make a journal that specifically plans for Christmas. And now this is utterly important as somebody that has a big family and likes to plan all this crap. And it's obviously going to sell pretty decently. And it probably wouldn't really take a lot of work to actually put something like this together. So I think that's a pretty interesting way of doing that. Here's a black paper journal, which is just a dot grid notebook, which dot grids were hot during back to school, and now we're at a midpoint in the school season. So a grid journal is probably going to pick up a little bit just towards the end of the year. Here's a Dogwood Blossoms journal. It's got just dogwood flowers or whatever in the heck they are. And then the Intuition journal. So a lot of journals, this is more or less for coming into January, like doing and creating positive mental habits. And this is an interesting spin too. So I want you to pay attention to this. It's a 26-week gratitude journal. Why is it only 26 week, you ask? Well, because it's for the midpoint of the year until the first half of next year. So that's kind of an interesting twist of doing things as opposed to going with the 52 weeks journal. How to make a journal of your life. Again, she believed she could, so she did. So it's like women empowerment with some flowers around it. Here's a habit tracking journal. And so these are all really nice sub niches of journal. Habit tracking journal, we've seen the Rectus journals, all that's branded, but habit tracking journal, we saw the actual, and we see things like the Scorpio horoscope journal. That's very interesting. It's a great gift for Scorpio. So notice here that they put the word gift in the actual title or the subtitle so that it would come up and actually flag the word gift. And again, this is great if you decide to run actual ads for Scorpio gift, because there are probably a lot of people that are actually looking out there for white elephant gifts that are very specific to the horoscope. So that's another fantastic little idea. Here's an adult journal for the Ocean Imaginary, whatever that is. The new Fat Flash journal. So obviously this is a shopping guide journal for people that are possibly going on a diet for the following year because it's almost New Year's. Here's the Prick Diary, a blood sugar logbook. So this is awesome. This is a diabetes journal for women. So again, gives you a great idea as to this Prick Diary. I don't think the word Prick Diary is trademarked. Let's take a look at that just really quickly and see what happens if we pop that up. Prick Diary, and it is not. So that is available. So you could very well create your own Prick Diary, which seems to have taken off. $216 made, rank 76,000. Does have some reviews here. So 58 reviews, but they're not all fantastic. I would certainly jump in there, take a look at what the 1-star and 2-star reviews say, and try to improve upon that to make my Prick Diary a lot better. Here is a yoga lined journal daily planner diary. A giant notebook, table of contents, page numbers. I don't know what this is. This is just 800 lined pages. It's gigantic. Here's God with us. And here's I was chosen. Our memories, all this other stuff that's written on there. You too could create something like that. Only has 3 reviews, but did $168 in sales last year. And this is super quick and easy to create. All it is words. Like anybody can do that, right? And you can quickly and easily see what exactly they did on their title, what they did on their subtitle, what they did on their bullets. And I will also link that service that I know where you could get back-end keywords too. So you almost have an identical clone of this if you want and just change up a little bit of some of this that's on it. Here is a Strength and Alliance Church Militant Field Journal. Like I didn't even know that existed. Military and church and military combined together. Wow. Where is this world coming to? Where have I been? Oh, I've been stuck in my apartment. That's right, it's coronavirus. Here's a therapist notebook. Again, lots of fantastic ideas of really sub niches that are selling and sold extremely well over a year ago that are just there for the taking. This one has 0 reviews, sold $149.75. So you could very easily compete with this actual book. And I'll continue going a little bit. Here's another Notebook Kingston Christmas Series, Christmas Journal Diary Line Paper, not dairy. I must be thinking of breakfast already. And it's just Santa reading off his naughty and good list. And hopefully he's not reading that naughty list because, heaven forbid, my cat's probably on there. It means she's not going to get a present. We know that I definitely would not be on there. And let's see what else we got. The Book of Luke, 1 chapter a day. And Harder, Faster, Stronger, the cross-country running notebook. So that's fantastic, which also brings me an idea of a marathon notebook. So a lot of great ideas for you to start creating, not specifically in the Christmas niche. Make them a little bit evergreen, which obviously evergreen books sell extremely well. Let's go to the second search that we're going to do for November. And again, like I said, if you like this, let me know in the comments. Throw in whatever keywords you want me to run through this so I can go through these each individually one by one. So in this particular period, I picked November again, and this time I want any book that has the word Christmas in the title or subtitle. Let's see what pops up. This will definitely give us a lot of seasonal ideas. Little Blue Truck, we always talk about that little guy. Harry Potter, obviously we can't do that. And here we got all these like Christmas ones. Obviously we knew that was going to happen. Here's a Barren Christmas, 21 easy ukulele songs for Christmas. That's kind of interesting. Now, I'm not saying go out there and make a freaking ukulele book. I can barely even say it. But what I am saying is potentially people enjoy a Christmas looking ukulele. So slap a Christmas looking ukulele up on side of an actual journal and toss it out there. Who knows what happens? Make it a music journal for the music lover and put a ukulele on there with some snowflakes and other shit like that. And you'd be surprised. That's just one of the several ideas that you can actually take from this. Here's a professional pianist thing. So again, professional pianist, that's an idea for a potential logbook, journal, whatever you want to do. Giant book of Christmas sheet music. Here is a fun time piano again. So a lot of piano players looking to do things around Christmas time and selling pretty well. So I would figure out how can I integrate this piano theme into a book and sell it for Christmas. Again, it's very doable as long as you sit there and you think about it. Again, another piano one. So the piano theme is fire during Christmas. And if we keep going, here's an Advent calendar book, which we talked about in another actual book. This is the 24 Solve It Yourself Christmas Crimes. Let's see what else we can find. Corgiville Christmas. So right here, this is fantastic. Let me show you why this is fantastic. So we obviously know that corgis, they have quite a cult following. And this shows a Corgiville Christmas. So I would actually be curious to see if this was trademarked. And I'll tell you why. Because right now we see it on a card. And we can see that on this card, it sold $2,400 worth of actual books. So I'm going to look up Corgiville and I'm going to look to see if this is actually trademarked. And it is not. So what I would do is I would create a Corgiville book and start putting those books out to corgi lovers and then advertise for it. And like I said, if I had a little bit more time, I would certainly do this. I don't think Corgiville is actually trademarked. And so I think that's a fantastic way to capitalize upon this and get a bunch of sales. Here we have another adult piano book, and S is for Santa, a Christmas alphabet, which is a fantastic idea. Here is a Christmas promise. I don't know about that one. But again, I kind of try to think what I'm thinking in my head immediately and kind of give you guys ideas. Again, another advent calendar with crafts, games, and recipes. Another piano book, which is kind of crazy. A book all about Christmas Eve. Here is an easy Christmas songs fake book. 100 songs in the key of C. I guess you have to be a musician to know what the hell that is because I have no freaking clue what they're talking about. And here again, more sheet music. So sheet music and piano is really hot during the holidays. Here's a guitar songbook. Again, going back to the ukuleles. That's what that reminds me of. See what else we've got. The biggest, most beautiful Christmas tree. Now, I do know that a lot of these are actually really just Christmas books. But at the end of the day, this is where you get your ideas. Like this one right here, the big Christmas coloring book for toddlers, holiday season Christmas and silly snowman designs for ages 1 to 4. That is obviously clearly a KDP book that we would actually potentially emulate if we want to put some extra money into it. But pay close attention to the design aspect. Here's a watercolor angel. So if a watercolor angel is doing good on a boxed holiday card set and selling for almost $1,400 during the actual November period, wouldn't you imagine that this watercolor angel would probably do well on a journal, on a diary, on a graph paper book, or anything like that? Hell, even a log book. Fly your way to your location, something of that nature. So just put a good little spin on it. Here's a Christmas memories, gifts, activities, fads, and fancies, 1920s and 1960s. Now, something like this. Here's another way you can put a twist on this. Christmas memories, gifts, activities, fads, and fancies of the family for 2020. So make it a book that actually relates to the family for the current year. Again, more piano, more piano. Here is a great Advent, again, which I talked about in the past. And again, our first adult Christmas coloring book that we see on here. Here's again the ukulele. Ukuleles in Christmas, for some reasons, they're fire. So make sure you put something together in your journals, in your logbooks, in whatever it is that you do of piano, ukuleles, music, anything of that nature. Here's a keto thing. So you could do a keto journal for 2021, something like that. So I think I've covered a pretty decent amount of actual topics on the two. I think you guys have a lot of ideas to work with. Again, let me know your keywords that you'd like me to focus on next time, and I will gladly do these videos every single day of next week if I have to, if I get enough of those, and if you guys request it. Other than that, questions and comments below, I always personally answer. And remember, use these for inspiration for whatever niche it is that you crush in. So I'll see you guys in the next video.